Hey everybody! Happy New Year! It's officially 2024 in our calendar, even though we did have a New Year special uh, just last week. But it's here.
Yeah,
We made it.
it's official. It's legit. We're now
Legit now.
we're now here, definitely.
In
So
2024.
in 2024, yeah, we're
Or
we're,
are we?
we're I hope so. Otherwise, that calendar I bought since
Oh, oh dear. Useless calendar.
yeah,
Just, yeah. Anyways, we're here to talk about our new latest anime that we're watching.
yeah,
Erased.
because that's right. Erased. It is somehow we're on to season 13.
Season 13, unlucky for some.
Season 13. This series will take us very close to, well, actually, will take us to over 150 episodes of the podcast.
150, eh? Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we will probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yeah, like this will overrun us through our 3-year anniversary of doing the show too.
Oh, yeah. 3 years doing
Three
this.
three whole years. Yeah.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
It's definitely the longest I've ever stuck to anything.
Oh, that's not true. We did couch feel for 3 years at least.
Did we?
Yeah,
Did we?
I did.
Yeah, you're not me though. I don't stick to things for that long.
That's true. You are not me, and I'm not you.
It is definitely the longest podcast I've ever done.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah.
It's the only podcast I've ever done.
Well, this is my 1, 2, 3, 6th podcast.
Yeah, he's got the magic sauce in this one.
Well, it must have done because this has lasted 3 years. The others have lasted anywhere between one episode and a year. So,
Can you count it as a podcast if it's just been one episode?
well, it was a podcast for that episode.
I mean, it was a podcast for that episode.
Yeah.
Is that like saying it was? Where am I going with this? I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm really curious.
Is that like saying it was soup when I made it?
Well, it's like saying I made soup, but it was only one bowl.
Only one bowl of soup. But this
Yeah,
one's
like
almost 150 bowls of soup. There you go. Go
the
gorge
pot we
yourself.
made it in just must have been huge. I
Yeah,
think is what I'm saying.
big vat.
Yeah. So, do you have any New Year resolutions, Colin?
Oh, New Year resolutions.
I'm curious. Any at all?
Uh, I didn't really make any. No, not anything that I thought I'd do. I don't know. Become famous, win the lottery, be a
I think
millionaire.
winning the lottery is yeah. That's you just need to work hard and get in on the grind for that
I'm
one to.
no. You
You need
need to be
that.
lucky.
You need that Sigma grind set. Bullshit. You need I don't know, whatever whatever those assholes peddle online about their. I like sleep for 2 hours a night, and that's the difference because I'm grinding 22 hours a day, 7 days a week, making money, living my life, driving my Lamborghini, like
Yeah,
that. That's what you're missing, I think, to win the
that's
lottery is just that grind set. It's physically making me nauseous as I say that, so I'm going to stop.
you got a bucket handy.
Not one that isn't full of rubbish, which will make it very awkward to clean.
Oh, this do soak up all the liquid then, eh?
I mean, that is the hope.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Do you have a New Year's resolution or?
I think that probably the main relative one to this is just I want to read more, and that does include manga as well. Like, I think my main issue with reading is it's lower down on my priority than other things, like whether that's sleep or playing a game or watching TV or something like that. So I think trying to actually set aside some time to read might be a good idea, because I'm quite bad for following through and finishing stuff. Like I've finished a few things last year, but nowhere near as many as I would like. So,
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure this was the New Year resolution every year.
well, that was my New Year's resolution. I think 2 years ago, at least. And my New Year's resolution was to read one book a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I read one book for that year. So
Oh,
that was pretty bad.
what's the T-shirt you're wearing, Steve?
Oh, it says, what does it say? Hang on. It says it's been bad.
It's been bad. I thought it was spooky skeletons.
Yeah, I mean, it is a skeleton. I bought a bunch of stuff from a nihilist website. So it was like a T-shirt that says "It's been bad," and there's one of a spaceship that just says "The end is nigh." I think I bought them the same time I bought my jumper that says "Straight out of Neon Genesis Evangelion."
Oh, Angilon.
So Evangelion, however you want to pronounce.
All right.
GIF.
Yeah.
Uh, so I to get me started on being able to read more.
Mm-hmm.
What I did is I did something I've never done. Is I bought a book, but I deliberately followed some guidance online about, if you are a person who enjoys reading but doesn't do it, here are a couple of books that are less than 150 pages that you might kind of help you kickstart your desire to read more.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up a book off of Amazon that I'm gonna give a try. So
Oh, all right. Pardon me.
hopefully that will do the trick.
Yeah. Well. Hmm. Nope. I don't have anything self-improving like that.
Well, I mean, there's one safe bet. If you don't have any New Year's resolutions, you will never fail.
It's true. I mean, my one was never to save the world from aliens.
I mean, that's come true every year as far as we know.
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, it technically has come true. Even if there were aliens, I've never saved the
Hmm.
world from them.
Well, that we know of.
I mean, unless they're like the wee joke aliens of like there's really tiny aliens and you just like snuff them out because you think it's a fly or something.
Well, I had the conversation with my son earlier on, because he was like, because I was saying to him, what do you think about aliens? Because we were watching a thing about space,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, I think aliens are real, and it's like, okay, and he's like, and then he was talking about flying saucers, and I'm like, no, so that's two different things. there's there's flying saucers, and there's aliens.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, because flying saucers is like the idea that we have aliens and they have sufficient technology to visit us, which
Ah,
is very
okay.
unlikely.
Yeah, I see your point on that.
Catastrophically unlikely. And since it would require them to break the laws of physics in order to do so within a fashion that made sense. Um,
How so?
and that, well, so if there is anyone within a distance of, say, we would have probably noticed something within at least 100 million light years, right?
Oh, you think so?
So what that suggests is that at the speed of light, something reaching us is coming at 100 million
Yeah.
It would have to travel at the speed of light for 100 million years. So in order for them to know that we are here or anything is here, it has to be something within the last 45 million years. So if they are looking through the visible light spectrum and they're seeing at the speed of light, i.e., from 45 million years ago or however many million years ago, you're going to see what the Earth was like at that time.
Uh-huh.
So if they're 100 million light years away, they're not looking at shit. Why would they come?
Yeah, okay. I
So
suppose.
that means they have to be from within what would be an assumed distance, probably of like a relative technological civilization. So something like animals using tools or something like that. And that would also suggest that they have a significant ability to view us from that level as well, and not just the overall of the planet. So it generally seems very unlikely. Whereas the idea that there's just life elsewhere in the universe, absolutely. Like, it would be weird if there wasn't.
Okay. Okay. And is this your own theory on aliens visiting us, or is this
I mean,
so?
I'm pretty sure that's relatively well documented that probably the main reason you would think that they are not visiting is that it doesn't seem like it makes sense.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, unless they are like, what are the, there's like different levels of civilizations. Is it the Kardashev scale or something like that? Yeah. The Kardashev scale is like, um, it's measuring civilization's level of, it says here, measuring civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy it's capable of using. So it was by
Okay.
a Russian astronomer called Nikolai Kardashev, and the idea is that you would have like type 1 civilization is able to access all the energy available on its planet and store it for consumption. Hypothetically, they should be able to control natural events such as earthquakes, volcanoes, yada 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 yada.
Okay.
Type 3 civilization is able to capture all the energy emitted by a galaxy. So, like, that's, we're only talking about even energy capture here. So, like, even the ability, so you're talking things like what they called the big things that cover suns,
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Dyson spheres. Uh,
Dyson spheres, not the
yeah.
vacuum
So,
cleaner.
no, not the vacuum cleaner, but basically what you're talking about is that that's just the ability to capture and harness energy, because of course it would take significant amounts of energy in order to travel from one place to another.
Mhm.
But theoretically, there is no way to break the speed of light.
Yeah, as far as we know.
And as far as we know, so they would have to be significantly advanced that they are capable of doing that in order for it to make sense for them to visit us. And there's no evidence of that.
Wormholes.
I mean, like potentially for sure, but I think the idea that wormholes exist is totally, I think, well accepted as well. Um, your ability to safely traverse a wormhole and come out the other side safely is not well known.
No, but then that's because you're not in the same place, possibly.
I mean, we'll go to the very famous example of here's a piece of paper, here's two dots on that piece of paper. What's the shortest distance between those two dots? It's not a straight line between them. You fold the bit of paper in half and you push the pencil through.
Yeah, pop. Both the dots are dead.
Yeah, everybody did.
Everyone dead. Everybody dead. Dave.
Also, there's the concept of like experiencing time differently as well,
Hmm. Yeah,
because like you moving at any significant rate of speed is going to decrease the amount of time you experience throughout that journey versus the rest.
that's why I always travel at 100 miles an hour.
Just live forever.
Just live forever, man. 100 miles an hour. Living
That's how it
forever.
works.
That's how I shorten my life, extend my life.
If you have come to listen to a podcast about someone who has some sort of remedial certification in broad spectrum science, talk about space travel and the laws of physics, you come to the right place because that is just what's happened.
That is what we're on about. That's exactly what we're on about. But no, it's this is the podcast about anime.
Shit, I forgot.
Yeah,
Wrong night. Okay, you're right.
wrong night. Wrong night. Where am I talking about that Saturday night?
Yes,
That's our podcast.
that's the podcast we call "I Want to Believe," where
No.
we chat with David Duchovny for a few hours about aliens.
One Wonder Steve. We'll call it Wonder Steve.
Sure, I'll take that.
Because Steve wonders
Oh,
about
oh, like
and
wonder, not
what
what? Yeah, okay. Oh, I get. Oh, that's very clever.
what yeah. Sure.
Is it like wonder, comma Steve exclamation point?
Yeah.
It's the action of wondering.
Wondering. Yeah. That's an action. That's a verb, not a noun.
A doing word.
A doing word, as you'd say.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, also a doing word. Erase.
Yes, and the past participle of that is erased.
It's erased, and that is the name of the anime that we're going to talk about. Like we hinted at the start, so
Yeah,
long ago.
before we went on a little journey. Uh,
Space
but
time.
yeah, have you'd recommended this to me probably about 3 or 4 months ago. We'd started talking about like how we would kick off the new year, knowing that we kind of had like a relatively good train of content right up until the end of the year, and then things were looking a little more free. You had suggested that this might be a good one to do. I don't know if I ever asked you, have you ever watched this before?
I have. Yeah, I watched it. I watched it before.
Okay.
Um, it was a while back. It was actually on Netflix, I think. Where I found it, and then they also did the live action movie, which I never watched.
I remember us talking about the live action movie, which was something. I deliberately didn't read too much into this because I thought like the general conceit sounded pretty good, so I decided to avoid anything else. And I must admit, it's goes some places that I didn't really anticipate, shall we say?
Yeah, it does. It is. It's yeah.
I kind of expected a more. I don't mean this to mean a more grounded show. You know, grounded in reality.
No,
It is not that.
it is not that.
Which it definitely makes clear within the first 15 seconds.
It's a bit longer than that.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't seem it.
It was like maybe 3 minutes in.
Oh man.
Because it didn't. Well, the first episode doesn't cut to credits.
No,
so it just does the end credits after the climax.
That's right. Which I like the music. I like the credit songs.
I think I've inadvertently been listening to that as the actual artist music.
Oh wow, it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's a good song. It reminds me of something. I wish I could remember what it is though. But yeah, this show is about a guy called Satoru. Sorry.
Satoru.
Yep.
Saturn.
Saturn. And the year is 2006. Almost 20 years ago. And he is on the verge of 30. Guy who is a mangaka, a guy who writes and draws manga. And he is not really doing that very well, it seems.
Yeah, he's not fully there. He basically starts off with him in this
in the office,
in the editor's office about the manga. It's like, oh yeah, the story's good, but you don't show enough of your heart. You need to figure what's inside your heart. And then he goes on a kind of rambling about his heart and things for the first minute or so.
Yeah, sort of the whole conceit, I suppose, is that, you know, without the reader being able to feel like they are understanding you, the author, as
Mhm.
part of the content, it can come across as a little shallow. I think what we realize as the thing goes on is that he is deliberately holding back on showing him in any of his content, at least a little bit. But yeah, I think he's basically told it's like, yeah, we don't really, you don't really fit in here, and your stuff's good, but it's not great. So
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
you're quite old.
You're 29 years old. You're practically dead in this industry. So
Yeah, like a football star.
yeah, it's they bring on the 33-year-old player, and it's like, oh, here's the old man. You're like, oh my god, why, why?
Yeah. So he basically contemplates and try like, what am I? What is my true self? Because he's kind of like numb and has lost himself. Uh,
Yeah,
some form of depression of some sort, I suppose. What it is. Uh, and then he kind of wanders around talking about this, and then find him delivering pizza.
yeah. I think it is because he's on his way out of the pizza shop with his delivery when his coworker Irie
Mhm.
says, "Oh, don't eat all that."
Don't eat that
On your
on the way.
Yeah, and he's like, "Why, dude? She's so weird. That's all she ever says."
Gen Y joke. That's a Gen
Yeah,
Y joke.
and so the interesting thing is like, Gen Y, at this point, is our generation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess it is.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe more yours, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you're like what is it? An elder millennial? I think I am also maybe.
Wait, we getting called elders millennials now? I just cut the
Yeah,
I I just catch that. Like it starts like 1980.
yeah. So that would be classified as an elder millennial.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Uh, yeah. Okay, so I am also classified like just as an elder millennial. Uh,
Elder millennial.
yeah. It
He'd be
says
an elder
basic.
millennial too.
Sorry.
He would be one too at
No,
20.
no, 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 no. He's Gen X.
Oh, he just on Gen X, is he?
Yeah, because he's 70s.
I suppose. Yeah,
He's
29.
1977. Is it? Yeah, 1977.
All right. Yeah. Anyway,
All right,
so
cool.
yeah, he goes. Uh, weird Gen Y joke. Is that a Gen Y joke? And it's like weird girl.
Yep. Very weird.
And then he takes off on his scooter to deliver pizza.
He does.
But you travel.
And this is where it goes off the rails for me immediately. I was like, "What? What's happening?" And because yeah, he's just looking about. And he's noticing some stuff, and
Yeah.
then there's like a blue fairy butterfly just floating around, and he's like, "Oh, it's happening." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? What is happening?
And
I don't understand."
the screen goes negative as well with boom.
Yeah, admittedly, because it does the kind of film thing, like where it shows the the teeth of the spool would hold on to the film,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it made me think it was like, is this like a game that is it based on a game? Because it reminded me of like those like root games, like root film and root letter and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
It's like, oh, is this one of those games? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It was
Uh,
not.
and then you find him as his travel back a few moments prior
Yeah.
because
Uh,
he was going along and you see the blue butterfly and he travels along and then this truck passes him
yeah.
and then he goes boom. It's
Yeah,
like
and I think what happens is he passes a little kid at a crosswalk,
mhm,
uh, and I saw that again, and I
mhm,
was like, oh no, I definitely remember that
mhm.
because he's like, I need to find the thing that's out of place, and I'm like, I don't understand, but and then it took me a little while. I was like, I'm sure some of this all seems very familiar, but then when I saw the kid at the crosswalk again, I was like, okay, no, it's just the same. You're doing the same thing
Mm.
again.
Yeah.
Uh, and of course, he eventually realizes the thing that is out of place is the truck that you mentioned before.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
As it turns out, it's slightly runaway.
it's a runaway truck. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, wake up, dude! Wake up!" Because he sees him in the wing mirror, is like dribbling at the chin,
Hmm.
unconscious. And then he's like, "Oh shit!" And then the kid starts to cross the crosswalk, and the kid goes, "Oh no!" And then he managed to, luckily the window's down, so he managed to grab the
Goes
windscreen
the
and pulls the
does
driver.
she not does Irie not see him
Yeah, yeah,
or
because
Katagi?
yeah,
She's driving the other way
she's
or
at a junction and
a
goes, "Wait,
junction. Yeah,
is that Satoru or Satoru?
Satoru.
Satoru?
Satoru.
Satoru?
I'm gonna just as a heads up, I am going to mispronounce every name in this fucking show right the
Uh-huh.
way through our discussions.
Yep. Um, I just do it regardless. I can't even
I
pronounce
usually
Steve.
eventually get it, but I'm for whatever reason really struggling with it tonight.
Yeah. So, so you yanks the driver to cause it to swerve off the road. It's like, oh, cool, did it. I saved it. And then he looks ahead and all he hears is a and it cuts to black. And then has a flashback from when he was like 10, I think,
Yeah.
of a girl in red. It's like, who's that girl in red? Why am I having flashbacks to this scene? This seems a bit weird. And it's like, oh yeah, it's completely out of place. And then as he's looking at the girl in red, she says, "Eyes wide open," and his eyes are wide open. And then uh, Ari's sitting next to him in the hospital bed, saying, "Oh, you got considerably lucky. You remember everything." It's like, "You remember who I am?" "Yeah, I remember who you are." "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, you're that annoying Gen Y girl who keeps telling me not to eat all the pizza every time I leave the shop.
Yeah. And then he goes, she basically says, "Oh, cool, that's all right. We're not like friends, so it's fine." And walks out. The boss is going to like doesn't care as he knows what he's done, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Uh, she asks if she wants to phone the girlfriend or that.
Well, no, to be clear, what she says is oh, and don't worry about the bike or the pizza. I spoke to the boss and he says that's fine. He just says to get back to work.
Yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah,
It's like, oh, great, thanks.
yeah. So he gets out of hospital. I don't know
Yeah,
the same
don't
day. I don't know.
yeah, he does. Um after a head-on collision.
Oh.
It does turn out though that the driver of the truck was dead at the wheel. I believe he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, he died of a heart attack. But it was only him and the driver. It had
Who were injured.
injured, so everyone else safe.
Well, he was already dead. He was the only actual injury, I guess.
Yeah. Uh, so he leaves
Yep.
and goes home.
Heads home where he finds his mother,
Yeah, his mother's there cooking because she goes,
Sachiko.
Sachiko, yeah, she's there cooking. Jason said, "Oh yeah, I came to visit you in the hospital, but you were sleeping, and that was boring, so I came home."
I did like that. It was like it was really dull, so I left.
Yeah,
They said you were going to be fine, so
yeah,
I left.
um, yeah. Uh, so she's there. He's like, "Oh right, um, I'm She looks like I think she's 54, but she doesn't look like it."
Yeah, she looks more like his sister than his mother,
Yeah, yeah,
which I
and
think is a
then
comment that's made.
like yeah, that's then bump into Ari at the store later.
Oh, yeah.
As but he's like thinking things in his head, and then the mother will go, "Oh, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Yokai."
Yokai.
Yeah, call her yokai.
Which, as
Uh,
far as I'm aware, is like a demon or ghost, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's some supernatural being of some
Yep.
form.
And in some cases, yokai watches.
Yeah. Um, Here they might start talking about, oh, she took, she was staying with him because, oh, I'm going to stay with you.
Yeah, and he's like, please don't. Can you not like get a hotel or something? She's like, but that costs money. Why would I do that when I could stay here? You've got a sleeping bag.
Yeah,
And he's like, yeah, I guess I do.
yeah.
That.
And then she ends up taking the bed.
She says, I took your foot on and the TV, so don't worry about making any noise when you get up to go to the bathroom. And he's like, oh, cool. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And then is it here? She mentions about what happened in grade school for him.
I, I, yeah, there's, I can't remember what part of the conversation it is that facilitates it, but he's reminded of an incident. Maybe it was because he talked about who he'd seen in the.
Oh, I don't think he did.
No, you may be right, but they end up talking about like his hometown and like the thing that happened.
Hmm.
I wonder actually, is it? She mentions about him behaving a certain way ever since that time, or
Oh,
something like that,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Because I'm sure he says something along the lines of his revival ability.
that's yeah. She's like, oh, you always. She's like, you did a good job with saving that kid. And it's like he's like, yeah, something just didn't feel right, and she's like, yeah, you've had those feelings ever since you were a kid.
Yeah.
And then he's reminded, I think, of that time when it was to do with an incident of a young girl
Hmm.
um, who was named. I don't know if we get a name in the first episode. Actually, now that I think about it,
I don't think. Oh no, I think you do eventually. I think he remembers. No, me am right.
Either way, like it's about a young girl who was in his class at school and how she disappeared one day
Hmm.
and then was sadly later found dead.
Hmm.
And there was a person, an older guy, an adult, uh, that they
Hmm.
named Yuki, or he and his friends named Yuki, who used to be friends with them and used to hang out with them, and
Hmm.
which is a bit weird, but they'd never had any issues with them. But that person seems to have been arrested for the kidnap and murder of not just her, but other local kids as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Um, which is like we're getting into territory here where I'm like, this is like quite fascinating as an intro episode.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
I like a
That's just
good,
the cusp. It's just the
yeah,
cusp.
like I like a good low key supernatural element is
Hmm.
kind of cool. And like a good mystery is just really cool in general. So, um, but yeah, they like you said, I think I'm trying to remember if it's at this point. No, because I think at that point we then cut to the next day where he and his mother are out doing something. Are they shopping?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they're out
Yeah.
shopping and uh, they're about to go into the store
Oh no, they're coming out
when are they coming out? Oh yeah, and
because he's carrying the
Satoru
bags.
says he's carrying the bags and he's complaining, and she's like, "Oh, they're not too heavy," and he's like, "No, they're fine." Jeez.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, something doesn't feel right here."
Yeah.
And
He's.
he sees the blue
Hmm.
fairy butterfly again,
Yeah.
and suddenly we're hearing him moan about the fact that the bags are fine. Don't worry about the bags. God damn it, they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, everything looks okay here." And then asks his mum to, "Can you have a look around to see if there's anything not right?" And kind of looking around, and the mum spots a guy with a kid going to a blue car.
It's really interesting because I must admit I took note of that before the blue butterfly. I was just like, there's something like it's so innocuous, but like in the context of the show, I was just like, ah, like the kid with the ice cream is nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and but that it was the camera was panning across, like almost like it was trying not for you to take notice of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, what's interesting here is that normally, he has saved probably loads of people in his time of doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
in this instance, he cannot himself find what it is that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
However, his mother, uh, as you said, kind of looks over at the guy walking with the kid and is like, I don't like this. Something seems weird. And you see the adult get into the car and drive away without the kid.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, oh.
yeah, that's what not
Now
obvious.
either that was Kevin McAllister from Home Alone's parents, and they've just accidentally left him at the store instead of at home while they're on holiday,
Uh huh.
or she's just stopped a child kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the guy kind of noticed that she looked at him, and then he was like, "Oh no,
Yep,
oh no."
it is interesting because it's only a glance and it's from a distance, of course. Because like she's like, he could have seen me see him,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a lot of contact, and yet he still didn't go through with it.
Yeah, got spooked.
So yeah, super weird. He of course doesn't know about this,
Mm-hmm. He's looking
but
elsewhere.
feels that he does feel that the badness, the thing that is wrong, has stopped. So
Yeah.
he's like, but I didn't do anything. So whatever.
uh, yeah. Um, and then they go home. Oh, they bump into Ari.
Yeah, and she comes home for dinner with them.
Yeah, and it's this point where he goes, "Oh, can you believe that she's like 54?" And he's like, "No, I thought it was just your sister." Yeah, no.
Yep.
So it's a yokai, right? Aye, yokai. And she calls her yokai.
There is the at the dinner table, of course, like Sachiko makes curry for them all,
Mm-hmm.
and they get into the cut. He's like, "No, I have no relationship with your son. I just work with him." And he's like, why are we talking about this?"
Pretty much. Because he's 29, she's actually a high schooler
It's like 17,
or
maybe.
something, yeah.
Yeah,
And the mother was like, "Oh, sorry."
yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
That awkward.
yeah.
Um,
And then the mother starts to kind of dig around, think, "Wait, that guy is."
but yeah. Well, she says, "Why don't you stay?" And he's like, "She's in high school. She has school tomorrow. I'll take her home."
Yeah,
So he ends up taking her home, and she's left to her own devices. I think yeah, like you say, she starts kind of digging into, oh, I feel like that something doesn't feel right. I feel like I know
that guy.
that
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
yeah. I was I think the guy also kind of followed them home because sure he got a cut from inside the car.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Um. So anyway, he takes uh her home and he says to her, "Oh, you be looking out for cops." Because I don't know if it's like a curfew thing or if it's the fact that
Uh,
she's sitting in the back of the bike.
but yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's
Uh,
just
yeah.
it,
Um.
or like, hey, is this nearly 30-year-old kidnapping a high school girl?
Yeah. That's something along those lines. Anyway. So the mother starts digging into the guy. Satoru kind of looks up his own past because he's like, "Oh yeah, you did that. He had a death sentence."
Yeah.
Um, And then the mother, I think, jokes, "Oh yeah, it wasn't him. It's
Well,
still
I,
unsolved."
I think that he had always said after he had gone to prison it wasn't him.
Even before, I
He
think,
did.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like he didn't do that.
yeah, it wasn't him.
Like
Yeah,
that wasn't him. Uh, and yeah, he of course he ends up going to prison for it.
life
Uh,
sentence.
Life sentence. Yeah, and as you said, like Sachiko starts to think, actually, that person I saw today, this is kind of a bit weird. It feels like that person could be the person that was responsible for what
Mm.
happened all those years ago. Just like Satoru had said, it wasn't Yuki that did it.
Yeah,
He's in prison and he never did anything,
and then
or
she pushed.
certainly didn't kill her.
Yeah, yeah, and then actually starts to make a phone call. I think she's out and about. Starts making a phone call
Yes.
to an old friend. He basically says, "Oh, it's 18 years. It's past uh, statutory rights or something."
Yeah, statute of limitations has passed on the crime, which must be true in Japan, but I don't think there's a statute of limitation on murder
Mm,
in the US or maybe in the UK.
mm. Yeah. Anyway, so she comes home and is like, "Oh yeah, cool. I'll uh, I'll just make some food for Satoru." And
Hmm.
then she hears the door open, and she goes, "Oh, must be him." And then turns around, finds out it's a stranger in the house who she knows because she goes, "Oh shit, it's you!" And then he goes, "Stab in the belly."
It's I did not see this coming.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, did not see it coming.
And then yeah, and then she's basically falls on the ground, bleeding out, and going, "I must call Sachiro and apologize
Yep.
for not believing him
I
back in the day."
yep, because he was right, and also the killer is here.
Yeah, even if
It's
the
like right
cops,
here.
yeah, even if the cops didn't believe believe you, I got to apologize for not believing my own son.
Yep,
And then the killer took the phone, I believe.
he did. He
Yeah,
did.
because she also took a picture of the car when it drove by.
She did. Oh, yeah, that's right. She took a picture. I presume just of the license plate was my initial thought, but yeah, you're right. Like the whole car was visible. So
Yeah, so he was like, "Nope, gotta get rid of that."
yoink.
Yeah, and then Satoru's just leaving his work,
Hmm.
where Ari's like, "Oh, I bet you know what you had for breakfast? It was curry." And it's like, "Yep, why wouldn't it be?"
Yep. Now fuck off.
Something like that. And then she was like, basically, like, "Oh, if you can, that curry was pretty yummy. Like, can you get me more?" I think was she
Yeah,
asked.
and he's like, yeah, I guess I can
Yeah,
talk to her about that.
we got curries for days. I
Yep.
think that was one of the comments at the store. It's like, "We have curries for days." Oh yeah, it's good. Don't need to buy anything else. And then he gets home, sees a man with a hat and a suit walk by him.
As he's That's
Yep,
right.
with red eyes.
And I think he doesn't know that it's significant, but he feels something
Yeah,
as he's passing them. And then, of course, he walks into the apartment
uh,
talking.
yeah. Oh, it's because the door's open.
Yeah, and realizes, of course, that his mother is lying bloody on the ground
Yeah,
after having been stabbed.
and I believe the landlord pops in and goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've got your mother's made me
She made me
curry last.
curry. Fucking curry.
Here's
The
a
root of all the problem.
here's the dishes back." And then he's like stumbling about with his hand covered in blood because the mother's been stabbed and
She's like,
bled
uh
all out.
oh,
Yeah, and then some of
no,
those
no, no,
cops are there.
so fast,
Yeah,
so fast.
I assumed that the guy called the cops
Yeah, it must have
on the
done.
phone just to bring them there and frame him. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I- You know, I didn't. It's funny you should say that. I didn't even really give that much of a second thought until now,
Yeah.
because it was like, yeah, he's like, oh, I've walked into the room, I've touched the blood, I've fallen back, the
Mhm.
landlady has arrived, and now suddenly police.
Yeah. So much. And then yeah, so he basically starts running. Like the cops come to him and he's like, "Oh shit,
Yep,
it wasn't me. It wasn't me."
yep.
And then he runs to the other end of the balcony and does he fall over?
He falls over the other side of it,
Yeah.
and he he sort of like his revival kicks in,
Mm-hmm.
and he just opens his eyes much like he did the last time after the accident,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and wakes up.
Yep.
Uh, but but and this is where it gets a bit more whoa. Is
Yeah.
he hasn't just woken up from having fallen off a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's woken up 18 years earlier in
And
the
it's
past.
yeah, in his own time. First he doesn't realize what he's like. Where am I? This looks familiar,
Yep.
but where am I? And then some guy runs by and goes, "Satoru, you gotta run or you're gonna be late." And he's like, starts running around the corner. And he's like, "The
It's like,
shit."
wait, late for what? Who the fuck are you? I feel like I know you.
Yeah, and hits the skill is like, the fuck? It's like
Yep.
ice hockey championships or something.
Yeah,
1988.
1988. Yeah.
It's
And he's
on
just
the
like,
building.
shit, something's going on here.
And done.
That's the
That's
end
the
of this episode, yeah.
first
We get the
episode.
credit music. I
Yeah.
should have said as well, actually, I forgot to say the name of the episode for episode 1 is Flashing Before My Eyes.
Oh, it did flash before your eyes. Everything.
Yep.
It's a lot of information right there in that one episode for you.
Yes. It's a heavy hitter of a first episode,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
I really like this, Colin. It's a
Yeah.
really, really strong start to any show.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It was very, very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it does have a strong start.
I have high hopes for it as well because it's not something that feels like it has to be stretched out. It's a like we didn't mention as well, but this is a 12 episode run, so it's like nice and contained.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it feels right.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's just I don't know. I think some people I can't remember people don't really like the ending of it.
I guess like I mean I could be okay with not liking the ending as long as the journey is fun. I think
Yeah.
the ending not being great is never good,
Yeah.
but I hope it wouldn't invalidate the rest of the enjoyment I had from the show.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, we'll see, man. We'll see
Yeah.
in the time 6 weeks time.
Yeah, I hope to be doing a video essay about how I don't think it's a bad ending. That'd be great. But I guess we'll see.
We'll see how that goes, man.
So,
I can't.
how do you rate it? How do you?
I think it's a strong episode. It's got everything, and it's got a bit of humor in it. It's got
Yep.
magical powers. You know, it's all Harry Potter like. Uh, it has some weird murder intervention plot. It's reared its head again 18 years later after the mother starts talking about it, like
Yep.
she's psychic or something.
Yokai.
Yokai. Yokai.
Yokai.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I gotta give it an 8. I think it's a strong episode.
I'm gonna go with a 9. It's a
Oh,
strong hook.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's really good out the gate.
yeah.
Um, I think he is made quite effectively an empathetic character who's just a kind of you know, almost a guy who is struggling in life and maybe would have been struggling regardless. But I think it's probably more clear that he is struggling because of uh, maybe what the responsibility he feels to using revival to have a positive outcome. It's not. It's kind of like, with great power comes great responsibility to a degree, where
Hmm.
I think maybe some of his life has been kind of put on hold. And as we mentioned at the start when the head of the manga publisher was saying, it's like, your writing's good, but I don't get a sense of you, and because of that, but it does feel a little bit like he's hiding that sense of self because he doesn't want to draw enough attention to him as a person.
Yeah,
Um, so it does feel to a degree to me like, he's a guy who has had great responsibility thrust upon him, and maybe there's a little bit of trauma there as well. I think that he maybe doesn't give as much weight to. It seems the missing girl has clearly impacted him more than he ever probably cares to admit.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it wasn't just missing girls. It's two people
it
went
was two
missing.
people in his class, yeah, or his
Yeah,
school. No, classmates. No,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
two
Classmates.
classmates.
Yeah, but
Um,
his mother also states that they've tried to make them forget the incident.
yeah, they didn't really talk about it. They kind of didn't really deal with it. And
Mm,
it's like, I get it. Like, you're being protective of your kids, and to her, and for all intents and purposes, he has nothing to do with it. Like,
mm,
he obviously has this. I think like one of the things we maybe didn't discuss a little bit is the fact that he that day he's like, hey, do you want to walk home together? And she just kind of ignores him in that
yeah.
memory he's having.
Mm,
And I think there's a little bit of guilt there because I think he says, that like that's the last time he saw her.
yeah, he didn't actually. He saw her, and he was like, "I should have asked her to walk home with me,"
And that's what it is. Yeah, he doesn't
because
actually shout. He's like, I should have said something.
he just walks on.
Yeah, and I think that there's this kind of latent guilt that it's like somehow his fault. He's like, yeah, okay, maybe you could have changed. Like, maybe it would have been two kids that disappeared and not one. Like what
Yeah,
would you're immediately assuming that your presence would have changed it for the better, which it, very well could have done. But I think it's this sort of hero complex of like he was the only one that could have made a difference, and
yeah,
not the monster who's kidnapping and killing children.
yeah, yeah,
So I think what they've done is they've set up a relatively empathetic character. Like, I do feel I do feel sorry for him, and like this is definitely taking a turn straight away. Like, mother's been killed. Uh, there's latent guilt. He has these powers. It's like, man, now he's back in the past. It's like this is definitely going places.
yeah,
So yeah, really, really impressed so far.
yeah. It's good. So,
So yeah, that leads us on to episode 2, and I will remember to say the name of the episode this time, which is Palm of the Hand.
palm of the hand,
Yep,
hand of the palm,
hand, Palm of the Pand.
pan of the pan.
I don't know if there's any other way. Hand of Palm. There's many other ways we could do this, but we should probably continue.
Yeah,
Um,
we should do. So this one,
so he's in the past.
he's in the past, and it starts off basically doing a wee flashback of the what's gonna happen prior, and he's saying, "Oh, before the revival, I've never really looked back more than like a few minutes.
Yep.
But now I find myself 18 years in the past."
Actually, what I didn't do was I didn't draw uh, any parallels to the what's his name? Oh, is it the Gon? Oh, what's his name?
Well,
That Philip K. Dick did a short story about a guy who, I think it was the idea is that he would see so far into the future.
Uh-huh.
So it's not quite the same. It's more he experiences the thing and then is taken back and can act on it. Whereas in The Golden Man, the idea was that he could see so far in the future and based on that make a decision.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like he could basically come up with the different outcomes that his actions would have before they would happen and
Yeah.
then act upon the ones that were favorable. So you could use it for gambling and things like that. But I think the idea is that he can then gradually see further and further into the future to act more on what's happening.
Okay.
So
All
it's a
right.
kind of a similar thing where now all of a sudden he was only able to go so far back in the past using his revival, but now all of a sudden he's 18 years in the past, which is a significant step up, shall we say?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's certainly he's made a leap.
Yep, a
Like
quantum leap.
quantum leap. Sam Beckett. It's just quantum leap, man. It's just
Why
quantum leap.
haven't I leaped? Why haven't I leaped yet, Al?
Oh, maybe you haven't done the thing that you're actually doing. Oh, what was that?
What's
Kissing.
what stereotype are you this week?
I never watched the new one.
No, one of our friends said it was actually quite good. So I did mean to give it a watch at some point.
It'll be out there.
It's cancelled
True.
already, so I've got time to catch up.
Cancelled already.
I believe so.
Oh man. Instant gratification, people. That's not like
No.
the original.
Nope. Can't have that. Is
Yeah.
it cancelled? Did I get that right? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong. No.
Oh wow. Got a second season coming.
It did get a second season.
And then that got cancelled.
It still hasn't finished its second season.
Alright, okay.
There you go. Still going.
Yeah.
My bad.
Anyway. Anime time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so he's in the past. So
Yes.
he turns up for school, uh goes to his classroom.
Doesn't know where to sit.
I can't remember where he sat when he was like a kid. So he's sitting in the wrong places, and then he moved to another seat, and then the kid next to him says, "Oh, do you fancy such and such?" And
Kayo,
yeah, I was like, "What?"
who is the girl, the one that he is, you know, feels guilty about,
Yeah,
and now realizes, of course, that he's come to a place in time where she's there, she's still here,
mhm.
and he kind of comes to the realization that maybe he can do something now to make this change.
Yeah. Uh, but first he like skips out and skip out of school and go and check up on his mum because he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta
Yes,
find my mum," because well, last time I saw her, she had a knife in her belly.
that is true. That is what happened.
So he basically says, I going to the nurse's office, getting got a headache," and one this school friend goes, "Oh, with your backpack? All right,
Yep,
I'm not going to say anything. I'll tell the teacher. It's all right."
yep,
And he runs out and passes Kira, Karen,
Kayo.
Kyle, passes Kyle, shouting "Mom" as
Yep.
as as he's passing her, and he's there, and he's like, "Ding, ding, ding! Open up, Mom! Open up!" And then he's, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right. She'll be at work."
She
Here's
works. Fuck.
yeah, and gets the key from behind the box and opens the door, and then goes, "Oh, it's home. I've been here." so long. I think kind of cuts to the scene where he wakes up. The mum comes home, wakes him up.
Yeah, we should notice as well, though, or mention when he's in the classroom and he's staring at her, which all of his friends tease him about.
Oh, that's after this.
That's after this, but he does take notice of the fact that she has a bruise on her thigh.
Yeah.
That's at this. That's at the point we're in the classroom at the first time when he's staring at
No,
her. It is.
no.
I'm
Second
sure
time.
it is.
Second time. Because she wasn't in class. Because she was just going into the class when he ran out at lunchtime.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's there with the mum and father. Oh yeah. You want hamburgers? And oh yeah, hamburgers. And makes hamburgers.
Yeah.
And then
Hamburgers without the burger part, just the ham, just the meaty part of the hamburger.
I think so. Yeah, without the buns.
Yeah.
They're
on the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
Very progressive.
Very progressive for the time. So it's doing that, and then he's like kind of acting weird around her. So, all right, okay, cool, you're doing this. That's fine. I don't want to say anything.
No.
And then at this point, he kind of vows he can make the change, and basically goes, came back here because also this somehow ties in to the point that my mother died. He detectorizes the thoughts of like, this is the point where it can stop it all.
Well, it makes sense though, right? Like, because it seems like her murder has propelled him so far back. And to me, like, I mean, obviously there's still a lot of watching in this, but it almost suggests that had he been transported further, like less far back, the outcome would have still been the same. Like, it feels like her death is almost a guarantee unless you stop whoever it is that kills Kayo.
Yeah, that's it. It seems that way. So he takes a vow that he's going to do it. He's going to win.
Gonna get that W.
The W, not the L. W.
No.
And then it goes back to class, I think. And he meets up with school friends and and he's kind of staring at her and see that she's got a bruise. And then everyone's, oh, you fancy her. And then
he has a diverse friendship group who really like Dragon Quest.
I don't know, one guy likes Dragon Quest.
One guy likes Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy.
And Satoru doesn't even have a Famicom.
He doesn't have a Nintendo. So.
Yeah. And then the smart one says, I like this group. It makes things interesting.
Yeah. the leader, the de facto leader, not by any sort of voting metric, but the guy who seems like he's in charge, is like, yeah, I like this. They're all different. It's cool.
Yeah. This makes it better.
Yep.
More diverse. So anyway, yeah, so
one of his friends makes it so that he can meet up with Kayo. And it's like, oh, so I can go and talk to her. Is that before or after the guy? The main guy is called the blonde leader is called Kenya.
Kenya.
Yep. And I think he suggests at that point you should read Kayo's essay in the school thing. I just can't remember if that's before or after they meet for the first time.
That's after he meets for the first time. So they meet for the first time, and then they kind of meet.
He's a moron, which is great.
Yeah, that's it. She kind of likes that.
Yep.
Basically says, we're both fakers. That's he.
Like, yeah, she's like, we are complete forgeries, you and I.
Yeah. And what? And then he says things, but says things out loud. And then
yes.
Wait, did I just say that? It's like, yeah, you did.
Oh, I said the quiet part loud.
Yeah, and the loud part
The loud part quiet.
quiet.
But I think she does say, like, you know, it seems very pointed actually, but she's obviously quite observant. She doesn't mean it to be mean, I don't think, when she says that we're both kind of a little bit fake, you and I.
Yeah,
And he kind of, I think he admits to the idea that he's like, well, I don't really fit in anywhere, and I don't necessarily want to, but in order to not be completely alone, I have found the place where I can do that with the least effort.
yeah. I
With
think
the group of friends I have, I pretend to be someone else because it's easy.
yeah, I think that's a bit later. That's when they meet in the park, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, she didn't get much out of her the at the riverside. She basically just calls him faker, and it's like, well, I want to be your friend. That's fine. Let's be friends. She's like,
Yep,
oh, okay, and
I
then
guess.
she walks away. And then leaves
Yeah.
at that, and then to go and meet the friends. Next day, he's like, how'd it go? How'd it go? And he was like, oh, she called me a faker. I was like, oh, what? And they're looking out the window. Uh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's when I think Kenya goes, oh, well, if you might want to read the school magazine. That'll be interesting.
Boy.
And
Oh boy.
yeah, I don't know how that thing gets flagged up with social work.
I am good. Like, let's be honest here. I think the essay is called like "The World Without Me" or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not a happy title, and it's like, oh, cool. This is literally, I guess if I wasn't here, maybe this would be all right.
yeah.
It's like, uh, who
Oh,
read this and went, oh, publish it, publish
yeah,
this to the school. More people need to read this. Maybe this girl needs to be talked to and like checked
yeah.
out. She's maybe not doing so good.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
I think
So,
actually the name of the manga is the name of her story.
oh, his manga that he's writing.
No, 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 no. The name of the manga that this is based on. Um.
Oh, is it not called The Roost?
Oh. It's not. It's only called Erased in the West. It's actually called Boku dake ga Inai Machi or Maki, which is the town where only I am missing. Is the
All
name
right,
of the show. So actually,
yeah.
the show itself is called. Yeah, the manga and the show are called The Town Where Only I Am Missing.
All right, okay, yeah. Wow, that's dark. Anyway,
Yeah,
so um, aye, so he's essentially reads that and goes,
he
oh
reads that
well,
and is like, "Oh Jesus Christ!"
yeah. But he's hidden the magazine from his mother because
Yeah,
he didn't want her to read his essay that
is
he wrote.
that's right. Yeah,
He's like, I wonder what I wrote again.
yeah.
He doesn't remember. He just remembers that he's hid it for that reason.
That is to me super curious
Yeah, yeah. I wonder.
already because I was like, "Huh, you hid it, but you for some reason don't remember why you hid it. You just know you didn't want her to read it."
Yeah,
Nah, that sounds like you've deliberately blocked something out.
that's possibly.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So they go back to school the next day again. Uh, I think it just basically ends. It goes, "Oh, what's her name's leaving? You don't want to catch up with her?" And he goes, no, it's all right. I know exactly where she'll be." Because she goes
Yep.
there every day because she also doesn't want to go home because she's getting beaten up by her mother. And this
He
is,
suspects, allegedly.
yeah,
Allegedly.
Leslie is the mother, yeah. Oh, and he's actually also asked
Oh, for a
for
party.
birthday party. As the mother's like,
Yep.
what? Oh. And then in the middle of the night, the mother goes,
Oh,
Satoru, are you awake? But you got a girlfriend? You want
Yeah,
five? Five,
you want? It's
five.
like you said 5 guests. It's like, do you have a girlfriend? Is that why you asked her 5? And he's like, oh no, stay asleep, be asleep, go to sleep,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't
Seems like
engage, don't engage.
yeah. Seems that she's always matching up. So he then meets her at the party at the park and does the talk and basically
Hmm.
says, "Oh, I have made a vow not to lie to you," type thing. I'll only speak the truth to
Yep.
you. Type. Give her the first invitation to the party because she goes, "Oh, who else is going?" As there will be many people. And he's like, "I don't know yet. You're the first to have it."
Can I be honest? Like that's super sweet. Like
Yeah.
as a genuinely sort of nice, heartfelt thing was like, here's like a way to gain someone's trust.
Mhm,
Because he was like, it's like if I'm having a party, like you should come.
mhm.
Uh Here's and she's like, yeah, I guess like, and just that genuinely nice that I think the lead up to that was nice because as you said, it was like, oh, who else is going? It's like, I don't know. You're the first person I've asked.
Yeah.
It was a genuinely sweet moment.
Yeah. And this is the where he also, I believe, blurts out basically how he is a faker because
Hmm.
he feels he's socially inept and he needs
Yes.
to kind of like put this show on for
And
for the friends. But
I feel like we all have a little bit of that feeling sometimes.
mm,
Like those of us who have levels of social anxiety and things like that. I totally feel where he's coming from. It
yeah,
is hard to be social and engaged in certain ways. So another kind of endearing thing about the character, very humanizing thing,
mhm,
um, which is quite cool. And
yeah,
as we've got in the little picture, for those of you who are watching the video version of this, you can see Kayo and Satoru touching hands
mhm.
because he's lost his gloves at some point and he's not sure where those have gone. And his
There's
hands
a
are cold
yeah. There's mention there's a hideout, but they can't go to the hideout because it's snowing
because of the
because
snow. Yeah,
it leaves footprints.
yeah.
Um,
Which also seems weird.
yeah, I think you'll finally get there eventually. Um,
Yeah, I bet we will.
yeah, her hands are cold. She says, "Are your hands warm?" And he's like, "No, my hands aren't warm." And then they touch. She holds out her hand like that, and then he holds out his hand, and they touch. And then he goes, "Oh, your hands are smaller than mine."
He blushes and he's like, "Come on, get it together. You're 29. This
Yeah,
isn't." He's like, "You're a 29-year-old in the body, in the body
yeah,
of an 11-year-old. Just relax."
yeah, pretty much. Um, and yeah, so I think they had this conversation. I can't think much after that.
No, I think that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Hmm. Yeah,
Is like he feels like he's is like this is the progress I need to be making. Like this is the I'm doing the right things because I feel like this is gonna stop it from happening.
yeah,
If he stays the path and you know keeps trying to help her and befriend her, uh, you know, there's it's weird because obviously there's like a little bit of selfishness in this because he's trying to save his mother's life, but also there's further selfishness to it because he's trying to exonerate himself of the guilt he's felt for so many years for
yeah,
what happened to her. But then beyond that, there is also like I can save someone's life.
yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, I guess, because like if you think about the revival as a thing, it seems like for years and years and years and years, it has always been here's a thing you can do for other people. Like
Mm.
here's a way for you to put yourself on the line to stop a thing from happening.
Uh,
Um, Whereas in this instance, it's like it is giving him an opportunity to take something from it for maybe the first time,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose he's doing something that'll benefit him because he does make remark on it in the first episode where he always doesn't need doesn't feel like he needs to really be involved,
Yes.
and he's doing it because he well he's doing it because he feels that's the thing to do, or he somehow always gets involved, but he shouldn't need to get. He's like, damn it, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to get involved in this. Don't need to do it. I can just ignore it. It should be fine. But he ends up getting involved every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And in this one, he kind of has to.
yeah. Everything's connected, and he was. So yeah, I've gone back 18 years, but normally when the revival happens, it's like a few minutes, and I've gone back 18 years, and it also means that this is the point where I can save my mum from getting murdered.
Yep. And like potentially save Kaio's life and exonerate uh Yuki and put the right person behind bars, hopefully. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot at stake in this revival this time.
yeah. Can he do it?
So, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
We've done it. Would you rate this one, Colin? How do you feel about this one?
it's still pretty strong. It's not got as much in it as per
No.
se. No, no, like oh my god, oh what? Oh,
Yep.
it's starting to fill out the backstory of what happened 18 years ago. Um, still got intrigue. Still good.
Yep.
I'm gonna say 7.
I'm similar to you. I'm just a point down. I feel like I'm still at an 8. Well, I'm at an 8, so a point down from last time, but
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like we're on a good trajectory here. Like we can't all be the best episodes ever, and this one is still really good. It's really informative. I think it lets us know more about the character. Feels like we're setting off on the right path. I am curious about how much of the show is going to be in the past and how much of it's going to be in the future or the present, depending on how
Yeah,
this goes. So yeah, like I'm all ready for this one. I think this is going to be a good series for sure.
yeah, should be. Should be good, man.
So
What do you think of the intro? Because the intro in the second season.
I like the because it's the same song in the intro and the outro.
Uh,
I think.
for the first episode, the change is in this one
Oh, does it?
for the outro. Yeah,
Oh, I should go back to that.
where
I
they
like
keep
I
doing a
like
skip.
the intro song a
Yeah,
lot. It's really really good.
and the weird uh anime intro,
Yep,
animations.
the anime. Yeah, like it's. I think what I can say is it's very highly produced. Like the animation is good, the storytelling's good, the performances are good. Like this is obviously like a well thought out, well considered, and appropriately funded series.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I think is I always feel terribly sorry for projects that have like an amazing story to tell, but just don't have the budget to deliver the visual fidelity or the narrative or the performances they were hoping for. So it's nice to feel like there's a good marriage here where they've kind of hit the balance really well. Uh,
Yeah,
I hope that continues. I would imagine it will over a 12. It feels like obviously story dependent, but a 12 episode arc feels like it's like this is good. This is just enough episodes to get the stuff done, and it'll let us keep the production quality high. It'll let us get the right performances from our actors. I think yeah. I hope this maintains its consistency. It feels good so far.
yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I agree. I think
So
it's good.
yeah, that's episodes 1 and 2, and we will be back next week with episodes 3 and 4 of Erased. Which leads me to say you've been listening to Who's That Anime, a podcast about anime, which can be found where all good podcasts can be found. We don't have any financial compensation for this, so there's no advertising in the show. We don't ask anything of you. But if you do want to support us in any way, then it would be incredible if you wanted to review the show on your podcasting app of choice. If you already have reviewed or can't review, depending on where you're actually listening to us, then telling a friend about the show would also be really cool. We have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post the episode releases and the occasional anime meme. We have a Discord group and channel, and that can be found in the link in the show notes. You can join us there. We also have a YouTube channel where Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these shows. You can find it by going to youtube.com and searching for @Who's That Anime. Will be the channel there. We're doing all right there, and since we have also started sharing the RSS feed for our podcast on YouTube, you can also find the podcast there. It actually gives you more opportunities to engage as well. You can leave comments to the podcast there too. Liking us in that platform is also really good. If you do, in fact, like what it is you're hearing, then you can do that too.
Yeah.
Colin and I occasionally. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, let's talk about comments.
Yeah, I still need to respond to that. No, I don't know if I can.
It's not gonna lie.
That's a comment.
That's a comment in the last the hidden comment, man. What the hell? That's all I'm gonna say.
If you are listening, you know what you did.
Yeah.
But yeah. We also occasionally like play video games. Maybe that will change to more than occasional this year. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. You can find archives for all of the channels streams at youtube.com if you search for @couchfuel or @hailpayman. And that's us.
Yeah, that's it. We're done. We yammered on at the start, so we can just probably cut it here. Let's go. But yeah. We'll catch you same any time, same any place, same anime, different time.
I mean, it's the same time, but it's just in the future. So
or the past.
Oh god. That noise again. I need to get my soundboard back up and going.
Yeah, you do. See you next week, guys.
Cool.
Bye.
Peace out, folks. Bye.
Bye.